Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I am your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very senior and accomplished professional from Warsaw, Poland, Anna Hawryluk. Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anna is the CEO and co-founder of Professionals Group, which is a consulting and advisory firm specializing in technology talent recruitment. So Anna, before we start talking about the Professionals Group, tell me a little bit about your own journey.
Okay. Yes, my own journey is quite not, let's say, so obvious. Mm-hmm. I started to work in a banking industry. Mm-hmm. So it was over 15 years ago. In the financial industry, I was responsible for compliance risk management in banking area. I was responsible for compliance risk, but also anti-money laundering, also conduct risk management in Poland, but also in EMEA region. And it was, at the time, it was part of Citigroup. Mm-hmm. So I spent there several years, and actually it was great adventure for me. It was the opportunity to learn, to grow. I was dealing with, global regulations, global partners from the different countries, different cultures. So it was really good step, I think, for my professional career. And I remember one day when I was implementing an important project, but I started to feel that something is missing in my life, right? From one side, I was constantly growing. I was developing challenging tasks and projects. I was delivering such projects. But I thought, from one side, I thought that I'm successful in what I'm doing, but I was refraining, from saying it is a success, right? I loved my job, but I didn't feel happy in everything what I was doing. Even though I was, a lawyer, I was dealing with regulations, so everything seemed to be okay from the perspective of my career path and so on. So at the beginning, I couldn't understand what is happening. That was kind of a paradox from my perspective. And finally, I decided to step back.
Okay.
To see what is happening, around me, to see what is the industry saying right now. And this few months, there was a couple of months of such a, thinking about myself, about my journey. And this has led me to the place where I am now. So from the career in banking, dealing with the regulations, laws, and so on, to career as an entrepreneur, actually.
Wow.
And the role of, founder and owner and actually executive person for the company, which is specializing in recruitment. That's true. But we also... we are kind of a company that is a consulting company. So we are thinking about HR processes in a broader sense. It's not only about recruitment.
Right.
This is rather about, supporting businesses to grow, trying to understand their needs, their goals, and to support them. So that's actually my story. Fantastic. From banking to HR.
Fantastic. And coming to Professionals Group, tell me a little bit about what you're doing here and why are you focused only on technology?
Yeah, that's actually a good point because, so I start with the company itself, what we do. So we used to say that this is a consulting and advisory firm. So as Professionals Group, we are specializing in technology recruitment. This is what we already mentioned, but we are supporting organizations that are growing their businesses in Poland, but actually globally as well. So together with the team of consultants, we help companies to achieve their business goals related to hiring professionals in the areas of IT, but not only IT. I would say that IT is our core and main, let's say, focus. But if the company comes saying, if the hiring manager comes to us saying, okay, we need a business development manager, or we need the director in finance, for example, or accountants, we also trying to help because we understand already what are the needs of this client, what are the needs of this company. If, for example, the company establish the branch in Poland, right? Like operating center, like shared service center, which is quite typical right now, that global organizations, they want to deliver from one center, right? They want to deliver their services and operations from one center. So usually here in Poland, and we have lots of shared service centers here, and it's quite typical right now for what is happening on the global organizational footprint. So we are trying also to serve and to support for other roles if they need so, right? So in the field of IT, you can find with us offers for programmers, tech leads, infrastructure specialists, but also project or program managers or product managers, right? If the company wants to deliver a new product on the market, for example, or the product is typical for Poland only, but it goes globally. The goal of the company is to go globally and to implement this product somewhere else. We are also looking for such specialists on the Polish market. But indeed, yes, I agree. We are focusing on IT. And why IT, right? Because I think it's also important to understand. I think it's just exciting. I mean, especially now, what we observe, right? The newest technologies just surrounding us. It's everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
New tools, new applications. We hear a lot about new AI tools, right? Artificial intelligence, chat GPT, right? The most recent thing we are all talking about that. So and we can observe and we can also participate in those tech innovations, I would say, right? Of course, we will find out soon how it is impacting, our lives, our processes, our products, right? Some people are saying it's a little bit scary, but I would see a lot of opportunities in that, to be honest. And also specializing in IT, but, serving and having discussions with lots of clients from different industries, from different countries. We have a great spectrum of everything what is needed on the IT market, right? So that's also a good point. Because from one side, we have a great talents here in Poland. We have great universities. We have great schools. So the talented people are here, not only in Poland, obviously, they are globally, right? But also because of the global IT market right now, after the pandemic, everything started to be kind of a global thing. We can propose lots of opportunities for our programmers living here, but they can work remotely for other companies located elsewhere. Actually, there are no boundaries, right? Like it was before the pandemic. So it's just excitement for me, right?
Fantastic.
Kind of, yes, exactly. And this is what we do, dealing with different clients, being a partner, maybe just to conclude, because it's also very close to our values, how we are operating, right? Being a partner for our clients, trying to understand their needs, their goals, support overall from end-to-end processing side, but also from the side of our candidates and the talent pool, candidates that we are talking to every day. We are a partner for them as well, trying to understand what are their needs actually, right? What type of work they need, what type of project they are looking for. And having a big, and broad spectrum of different clients, different industries and different projects, we are actually partnering them in their career goal. And it was actually my goal to build such a company, where we are the partner for both sides, not only looking to, fill in the position that is specifically needed for a particular client. I wanted to deliver something more. I wanted to be a type of the agency, recruitment agency, where we are really a partner for our candidates.
Very interesting. So my next question to you is that, you spoke about the technology. So let me ask you, how is technology changing the human resources function in organizations?
To be honest, it's very interesting point right now, especially because of the fact that, as I mentioned, technology is everywhere right now, and everyone says that it will change the way we live, right? The way that we are living right now on a daily basis. Some people are saying that technology will cut our jobs, right? And will impact our lives in a such way that is not predictable at the moment. And I agree that technology is changing a lot, also in HR function. But it's not something new. It's not like we observe it right now and something crazy is happening right now. It's like a revolution. I believe that in HR, we had a lot of processes that were automated because of some, new tools that we started to use, starting from the, recruitment and onboarding or performance management, for example, in case of, employees that we already have on board, let's say. For example, in recruitment, what I can say, we use sophisticated tools sometimes like ATS. ATSs are applicant tracking systems, and some of them really are present globally on the global HR market already since some time. And some of them are very much focused on helping sourcers and recruiters to find the best talents by using some, keywords, which are very, very much needed in order to, for example, Google the person which will be the best fit for the position, right? We are using LinkedIn, we are using ATSs. So it's already there. And I don't believe it's something new, right? Like we, as a recruitment agency, we are also using such a technology since a couple of years now.
Correct.
But this is from the pure, let's say, operational or technical perspective. But we need to also think from the perspective of overall, let's say, employee engagement, well-being, and so on, right? And remote work, for example. Let's imagine remote work without technology. It just cannot happen, right?
Well said.
So because of the pandemic and the situation that we were forced to change something in the way we operate, right? And the way that we work right now, it's actually not going to change, even if we are after the pandemic, actually, right? But there are different circumstances around. We are talking to employees. We want to increase their, satisfaction. We want to be flexible in terms of solutions that we deliver to them to work and to be effective and to be efficient and to deliver the project, right? So we are actually in the phase that we are saying that remote work will stay with us, even though, we will be maybe changing the way of hybrid type of work to some extent. So we will be inviting our employees to work from the office more often because of some, productivity reasons, depending on what is actually the project that you deliver, right? Where teamwork is really, really important. But from the other hand, and this is especially visible in IT, the majority of work can be done remotely. And it means that, with this technology and the best tools that we have right now, we can really do it. So we can have, let's say, better work-life balance, let's say, right? Because of the fact that if the employer is more flexible, we can manage our kids better, right? For example, right? Not spending much time on traveling and so on. So this is also how technology is changing HR, how technology is changing our lives, not only from the perspective of, managing talents, managing onboarding or managing talent acquisition, but it's also from the pure perspective on our day-to-day operations as workers, right? As people, as employers and employees as well. We are all in this environment and everything is changing.
Fantastic. And, you spoke about the pandemic. We've all hopefully completely come out of it, or the pandemic now. But do you think things like work from home is something that is now there forever, or do you think people will go back to working full-time in organizations?
Yeah, that's actually something that we started to discuss last year, because we were also very keen to know how the companies are going to change their model of operations, right? And some of companies, some of them, some managers, they were saying, yes, we need to come back to the office because we are more productive, we are working as a team, and we observe by doing some kind of experiment, for example, that when inviting people to the office to work, for example, 2 consecutive weeks on one project, it showed that it's better. It's better because we were able to deliver much quicker in a more effective way. But from the other hand, employees were saying, okay, but it's okay just for now, just for the project, that just for some time. I would prefer, and this is what majority of them is saying right now, I would prefer to be more flexible on my work schedule. So it's not only about coming to the office or working from home. It's also flexibility of starting the work at 8 or 9 or 10, depending again on the situation with the company or the project. For example, if you work from Poland and you work with US on some kind of project, there is also some time difference, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's better for the team to start to work at 10, right? Because 10 a.m. in Poland, and then to work with US because they start at 3 p.m. here in Poland. So just to connect, right? So depending on the situation, we should be flexible. And I think that employees are really looking for such companies and for such a approach. They don't want to have strict rules anymore. Because pandemic also, during the pandemic time, they discovered what is important for them, that they want to have a more, work-life balance, that they want to have more time with the family, that they don't need to spend much time, traveling to the office and so on. Some of them are saying at home we are more productive because during the time in the office we are spending much time on meetings, right? For example, while during the remote work, we are invited just for such a meeting where we are really necessary to be, right? So to be honest, I believe it will stay. It will stay. It will not be like 100% remote work. The most probably there will be some kind of hybrid mode.
Yeah.
And maybe because of some flexibility in the project or your employee discussion with the manager, this can be changed. But the flexibility is, I think, something that the employees are really looking for right now. Even if they want to change the job, they are always asking, what's the procedure, what's the policy on remote work in the company they are approached.
There is another aspect that has come out a lot, which is moonlighting. And this is coming much more in the technologies worker space, where people have now saying that, how does it matter if I, in my free time, take up a second job? I'd love to get your perspective and how some of your employers are reacting to it.
That's actually a good question, because I would not say this is a trend, but I would say that there are some people really doing that. And this is because of the fact that they want to work more on the projects because they believe that, they are growing, they are developing themselves by trying to, be involved in different projects, different perspectives, different companies, right? That's one part of the story and one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But the second reason is also the financial reason, right? They want to have more because they want to earn more, right? But I think that depending on the situation, it can be good or bad, right? Like usually. On the positive side, I think that this moonlighting thing, it can provide employees with additional income. This is what I said. Give also the opportunity to gain new skills, experience, and so on. So from the perspective of the current employer, the main employer, let's say, right? It could be good, because this person doing something after hours, after regular working hours, this person is gaining new skills, right? Like, for example, if people are quite similar to the situation when people want to learn new things and they are taking some additional courses, for example, right? So they want to upgrade their skills, so they do that, and this is usually beneficial for the employer as well at the same time, unless the employee wants to change something dramatically, right? And this is why this person is doing additional courses. So in case if you do two things at the same time and it's not like conflicting each other, right? I mean, there is no conflict interest between what you do during your working hours and after hours. That's fine. That's fine. But there is also a lot of negative in that. I mean, the risk of doing such a thing is that you are, as an employee, you are just burned out at one point in time, right? Because you have a lot of to do, you have a lot of on your plate. And if you want to deliver, if you want to be a good employee for both companies, for both sides, at the end of the day, you can just be burned out, right? This is another story that we are also discussing right now with HR people, because for sure it's happening. It's happening also, of course, with people who are not working for a second job, right? It could also be the thing. Exactly. But I think that moonlighting is, as I said, it's not like a trend that everyone is doing that, but some people are doing that. Some people are thinking about that. And also I think it's a little bit connected with the trend, which is called gig economy, right? And gig workers who are, actually thinking of work for several projects at the same time, just to earn additional money, just to be more like freelancers, right? Contractors doing different things. So it's connected, I think, and it might be the future for lots of people, especially in IT.
Fantastic. I have time for just one more question. And this question is for the many, many people who will listen to our conversation. Based on your own amazing journey and all your learnings in the area of human resources, what would you say are 3 lessons you would want our viewers and listeners to take away as they look at their own careers?
That's I like this question. I think that the nature of work is changing so much, right? And organizations needs to be today adaptable, flexible, as I said, and creative in order to succeed in the current world. That's one thing. The second thing is that HR function is really changing a lot, right? It's become more integrated and important for organizations. It's more integrated with the business, with managing, with the people managing the company, right? So with the board of directors, for example, I think that human resources chief officer, let's say, usually it's also a part of the management board right now, being like a person who sits together and defines the strategy for onboarding, for recruitment, for talent acquisition, for retaining people, because this is really important factor right now for all the organizations. So that's another part, and I think it's good, of course, right? After pandemic, people really need to have a good understanding what is happening with them. They also want to see support from the employer side in terms of well-being, all the activities that are initiated by the employers should be actually taken towards such a goal to manage the organization while thinking at the same time about the employees. And the third thing, I think, is about this technology piece, right? This technology part, which is changing our world, which is changing the way the HR function operates as well, but also taking into consideration the fact that technology is changing our lives constantly on a day-to-day basis. There is a fear that we will not be making proper, let's say, importance, we will not put special attention to this human touch aspect of our life, because we would need to maybe automate, we would maybe like to automate most of everything what we do. Everything what we do could be automated to some extent, but we will not replace everything by AI. We will not replace everything by automated processes. That is why I really believe, and I think it should be a takeaway, that we should be thinking about our processes and our future from the perspective of the fact that we should be putting this human touch aspect to everything we do. So in case of my company, for example, if we are managing the talents, if we are able to automate some processes to help our work, to help us to be more effective, let's say, we should also think about this human aspect of everything what we do. So when we are talking to our candidates, when we are talking to our clients, we need to build, relationships. We need to think as a other person who is speaking to another person who has their own needs, goals, dreams. We should not be like robots. Even without AI, you can actually operate as a robot, because you can ask questions that are written down, and then you can just ask the person who are on the interview side, and you can just take a notes and then forward it to the hiring manager to decide. But it's not about that, right? It's not only about verification of technical skills and what the person, what the candidate knows or doesn't know. It's about understanding their goals, their fears, their dreams, and attitude as well, motivation, right? This is something that we should be doing as human beings. So that's why I'm not afraid, to be honest. I'm not afraid that AI will take our jobs and will cut everything what is happening right now on the market, and it will change, of course. We need to be prepared for that. We need, instead of, as I said, waiting for meteor to hit, right? Instead of doing that, we need to be prepared. We need to think what to do to improve our processes, to make our life easier. But at the end of the day, we are humans, and everything we do should be touched by our, let's say, human perspective. And I believe that in terms of, recruitment or HR in a broader sense, this is the key. This is the key. This is the key to the success. This is the key to feel good in what we do, right? But because at the end of the day, this is about that. We want to be successful. We want to be good people, and we want to support each other.
Well said. And on that note, Anna, now we've run out of time, but thank you so much for speaking to me about your own journey, about Professionals Group, about so many different aspects of human resources. Thank you also for your 3 wonderful lessons. Thank you for speaking to me, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.